Warning: the show you are about to hear contains muscular, intelligent, and intelligible sexy men discussing B-movies, and will contain movie spoilers. Only one of the previous statements is actually true. You decide.
So light that fuse and let it burn. There's no escape, there's no return. Exploding heads and synthwave licks. We're deep in cult classic kicks. Low budget dreams that never quit. Every frame a misfit hit. This is the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast. This is Duncan and the Baz. The B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast.
Welcome back to the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast, the last surviving broadcast at the end of the world, where civilization collapses, logic evaporates, and the shopping malls remain suspiciously well lit. I'm your host, Duncan McLeish, the comet dodger of doom, the mall-walking messiah of the apocalypse, and the synthwave sentinel of societal collapse. The only man who, faced with total human extinction, would say, right, but let's first check the arcade. Tonight, we are staring directly into Night of the Comet from 1984, a film that dares to ask, what if a cosmic event wiped out almost all of humanity, but left behind zombies, valley girls, and an unlimited supply of Uzis? Expect neon nihilism, dust people jump scares, and an apocalypse so upbeat it feels like it's been sponsored by shopping malls and aerobics VHS tapes. This isn't your grim, gritty, end times nightmare. This is a pastel-coloured extinction event where the real danger isn't the undead, it's teenage decision-making with automatic weapons. But while lesser survivors barricade themselves in bunkers and weep quietly, my co-host hits them all like it's Black Friday for the end of civilization. He is the prince of post-apocalyptic popcorn, the curator of cosmic chaos, the man who thinks that the collapse of society is a vibe, a scholar who sees the fall of mankind and says, okay, but what's the synth soundtrack doing? My man. Of course, he is the man, the myth, the legend, the Baz.
Guten Abend, mein sexy Liebchen. Dust off your copies of Mein Kampf, or should I call it Mein Trump? Kathleen Hanna for president, bitches. I can barely bring myself to make Nazi jokes at the moment, Duncan, with that fucking idiot in America. Anyway, let's not get political. There we go.
This is dating this podcast. Well, it might not be. You might be in forever. In which case, this is relevant whenever you watch it. This one, long time coming for me, for you. I think I had this on at least 4 or 5 different Baz v horror like versions in my head, and then kind of post. Yeah, like this is one that I just because of the time period, the fashion, the over the top, like in my head, I just thought. And you went through a phase of just really liking zombie movies, and I was like, this could be one. And then we weirdly joined forces with a couple of sexy young men called Scott and Liam, and this is like ranked very high in their placement of horror movies from the 80s. So much so that their show used to have a quote from one of the actresses in this movie, who did a little Scott and Liam shout out.
I don't know any of that.
See, this is why I get paid the big buck, Baz. The single buck. But yeah, like this is like for me, long time coming, but excited that we finally got here. I am going to say there's a strong chance that when you used to go to whatever mum and pop or VHS store or like Blockbuster or whatever, you probably walked past the front cover for this movie. It's not one of these, you know, it sat on the too bad it's amazing shelf or anything like that. It's rented surprisingly well and holds kind of a lot of reverence for, you know, VHS hunters very much like myself. So were you aware? Had you heard? Did you know?
No, the name was familiar, but I think in my head, and I spoke to you about this before, I confused it with the little short that's in one of the what's those compilation films?
Oh, yeah, Creep Show.
Creep Show.
Yeah, meteor shit.
Yeah, that one. I think I thought it was that, and it's not.
No. Does not have Stephen King in it playing whatever Stephen King is doing in that particular scene in that movie. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, the Baz is going to be detailing the plot of Night of the Comet. We're going to be doing it right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Comets, Chaos and Consumerism. The Baz is going to detail the plot to this fine movie from 1984, Night of the Comet. Baz, what happens in this movie, buddy?
Surprisingly little for the end of the world, Duncan. A comet passing close to Earth apparently vaporizes the vast amount of the population, while randomly turning a few others into kind of zombie-like creatures who maintain the ability to ride motorcycles. A large-haired cinema employee and a randy cheerleader wee sister managed to escape the fate of the rest of humanity by staying inside.
Yep.
As does a Latino lorry driver who was banging a hitchhiker in the back of his truck at the key moment.
At least he wasn't killing her.
Well, thankfully the girls who find themselves stranded with this possible serial rapist happen to be the daughters of a Green Beret. So they are well skilled in both modern automatic weapons and hand-to-hand combat.
It's like shades of Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Baz.
Well, it's not a million miles away from it, my friend. Pablo Escobar, on the other hand, it turns out to be a dab hand with explosives.
That's all you need.
The only other survivors appear to be a gang of department store druggies who've really gone off the rails completely in the 12 hours since the comet passed by. Oh, and also there's a kind of mysterious Dharma Initiative-like organisation of scientists and soldiers who live in the desert, and they apparently knew this was coming. The girls, they adapt to the end of the world remarkably well and seem to spend most of the time arguing over who's going to get to bang Speedy Gonzales that they're fucking hooked up with. And hijinks ensue, culminating in one of the worst endings in cinematic history. So, that, my friend, is Night of the Comet.
I did want to see if that was going to get a mention. I'm so glad it did, and I can't wait to talk
ending?
about it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, they should be in jail for that ending.
Right, ladies and gents, we're going to have to, you know what, we're going to have to mine and find out what it was about the end of this movie that maybe put this in the bad list for Baz. We do that by examining the rad, the bad, the sad, and often the mad. We're going to be doing it right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Rad Suits and Total Extinction. The top 5 rad, sad, bad, and often mad of this movie. Baz, you did pick off instantly one of my kind of mad / rads of this one, and it is our two heroines in this movie who like are just like, it's like they've been training. Like, let's put it this way: see if my father was an international chess sensation, I don't know if I would take up chess. I'm just being honest, because my dad's into it, and that's not cool. Like, the way that these kids are, how do I reach these kids? These kids just like automatically just acquiesce to the use of automatic weapons in a survival setting is one of those things where it's, like you said, it's just happened. I know, yeah, we've been training in this every single day for our life. I get survivalism, but I also think that the kind of fight, or shite that happens when like bad things happen, like it's all too convenient, but they are rather attractive. They are holding semi-automatic weapons and they're shooting weapons, and that, as shallow as I am, Baz, as shallow as I am, is enough to take me home.
I mean, also, if you have spent your entire childhood being trained in survivalist techniques by your special forces dad, you probably wouldn't be so obsessed with getting fucking rode.
Yes, like,
you know what I mean? You would have more on your mind. Or at least be suspicious of the swarthy Latino gentleman.
Yeah.
That's just fucking rocked up.
What you got?
That, however, to contradict that is my number one rad point. And basically, at last we have a film where the whole of humanity is essentially saved by the power of finger blasting and hitchhiker sex. Because 2 out of the 3 here survive because one is getting fingered in a cinema and the other one is hopefully consensually making love to a young lady in the back of his fucking van. And, you know, if you're going to save the world, that's the way to do it, my friend.
Do you think that's where the term riding out the storm came from?
You would like to think so. Popping a finger in the eye of the storm. I don't think that's even a saying. I think that's something I've just invented.
Oh dear. What about the logic of this one? It's purely budgetary, and it's because we don't have like thousands of bodies that we can just kind of stack up here. Dust people, like 1 second, just fine, going about the business. Next second, gone. I noted here it did remind me, even though I don't like superhero comparisons. Who's the guy with the clicky finger? The guy with the glove. He just wipes at everyone. Yeah, so this like that is like literally kind of low budget Thanos. He's like literally everyone's fine for a second. Comet flies back, right, and just don't like everyone's gone. Like everyone's fucking gone. It's like, yep, that's it. We need not ask any more questions about this. Just move on, movie. Move on.
No. I'll tell you what's sad. What's sad is the fact that the department store druggies fell for the old pretend you're a mannequin trick. When was the last time that actually worked? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, come on. The power went out in your building once at work, and did you make a weird science doll?
I made a sex robot, yes. I did.
And how long was the power out?
But I didn't pretend I was a sex robot. I made one of my own.
But like, how long did it take you to go from I can't access my work to build sex robot?
But see, to be fair, Duncan, I'm normally about 75% of the way there at all times anyway. It was really just the push over the edge, to be quite honest. So yeah, not as much as you think.
Oh fuck!
I can hit you with a staccato burst.
Give me them
from my schmeiser of bad, if you would like.
The schmeiser of bad. That needs to be a new segment.
The schmeiser of bad. So
go for it.
Number 1, the rather blatant anti-Hispanic racism in this film. That's just casually dropped into the dialogue with phrases like banana land and that might be all right in the barrio. So that's appalling. Number 2, the Cyndi Lauper theme track shopping montage that nobody fucking needed.
Oh, dude, everyone needs a wee bit of Cyndi Lauper. If it was the real Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper with a machine gun, man. They missed a trick. They could have had her in here as one of the... Yeah, here we go.
And thirdly, and my main bad point, is the complete lack of any discernible plot in this film. There's no there.
Would there be a plot in it? I'll always come back to this. I think sometimes, like, zombie apocalypse movies spend too much time trying to discern a plot. Baz, we need to do this. Our final one. Let's bring in the final one. What's your beef with the end of this movie?
Oh, it's the tossing the ball around in the street. Look, it's the end of the world. You've now picked up 2 complete random children that you've fostered, apparently. And they're happily tossing a ball about, and the girl just gets into a car with a complete stranger and drives off into the sunset. It's awful. It's absolutely awful.
I just don't see it. I just see it going out on a high. Most zombie movies don't go out on a high. They go out on, well, we're all fucked. And this movie makes a conscious choice to say like that, right, we're all fucked, but it could be worse.
Yeah, but according to that, 1, you would need to be high to like the end of this film. And 2, why aren't they going like that when we got to turn to dust? I'm absolutely petrified. I'm going to turn to dust.
No, that happened at the beginning of the movie, Baz, and we will never think about it again. Right? So it happened. You don't think about it now. I know you're trying to think about it, but don't think about it. We just move on. Just move on. Plot device, move on. Anything else that is pressing before I take us to the next segment?
I've just got one, and it's very short, and it's
Go for
fucking
it.
rad, and it's that sweet, sweet 80s saxophone, my friend.
Every movie needs a saxophone.
It should. This one doesn't even have a swarthy, bare-chested man in braces.
I still believe.
And it's still amazing. So yeah,
Yep.
that's its redeeming feature.
There we go. And on that positive high note here, we are jumping into our next segment where we're going to talk about some of the lines of dialogue from this movie. We'll be right back to do it right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Quotes That Belong on a Burned VHS Tape. This is, I put like funny lines from the movie, but then in the interlude there between recording and me and Baz just shooting shit, we did remark there's maybe not a lot in here.
Yeah, it's just it's typical 80s dialogue, but not cheesy.
No.
80s dialogue. It's just kind of shite 80s dialogue.
Yeah.
So I have got one item on my little list.
Swing your one at me, and I will pick whatever I feel we can watch at the end here. But I will give pre-advice to any viewer or listener here. Like, it's not that we're not in our A game here. It's just this movie doesn't afford as much. So go for it, Baz.
Yeah, that's very true. So the one I had got is fairly early in the film. So our main heroine has just woke up freshly finger banged, and she's talking to the perpetrator of said finger banging, and they're talking about, obviously he's the projectionist and she's like the kind of ticket seller person in this cinema. And I think they're kind of talking about 3D films or something like that. And he says something along the lines of 3D. Yeah. Tres dimensiones. And it's not particularly funny, but it is the kind of crap that people used to say thinking it was cool. Do you know what I mean? Tres dimensiones. That's not the Spanish word for dimensions, mate. That, you know what I mean? The same way El Burrito. You know what I mean?
Let me pivot back with a not funny line, but you imagine when someone's writing this is like, Daddy would have got his Uzis. Line in this movie.
Is that the younger daughter?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that the younger sister?
Yes, Daddy would have got his Uzis, Baz. Daddy would have got his Uzis. I wonder how many plot holes this movie serves up. Because, I mean, we find the occasional movie, but occasional plot hole.
I will
movie,
say I have a lot more of them.
Well, let's spend our currency over there, Baz. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's plot holes. Now the comment right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Plot Holes Bigger Than the Ozone Layer Hole. Remember when the ozone layer hole was a thing? And then we were talking about it.
Yeah, we all had to stop using hairspray and deodorant.
Yep, we still have hairspray and deodorant.
Man, the bitches at my high school went downhill after that, I tell you.
And this movie runs on hairspray. Right, let's rock into this, Baz. Give me your two best plot holes for this movie. Hit me with them.
No, I'll just give you the first two because there's too many for me to try and order them in any kind of way, Duncan. First off, and I suppose this is a major one, and I've already referenced it. Why has the comet turned everyone else to dust, apart from like the homeless dude outside the cinema, who's a kind of zombie?
I don't know.
And I know there's a pathetic attempt to explain this later on by the Dharma Initiative.
Science, Baz.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? About increased rates of decay and all that. No, I'm sorry. Everybody that was outside is just a pile of dust. Apart from this homeless man, who, surely to God, his immune system and that would have been compromised, probably on drugs or drink. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe it's the years of alcohol abuse made him impervious to the comet.
That's a better plot device than most of the ones in this film, Duncan. Well done. So that annoyed me. Here's another one though, and this was a sneaky fucker, right? If staying inside prevented the girls from turning to dust,
Yes.
right? Now I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking, well, surely God, everybody else that stayed inside would have been fine. So hence, you know, a good percentage of the world would be all right. But that's not where I'm fucking going. What I want to know is if staying inside prevented the girls from turning to dust, why was the cat turned to dust in the house?
Fucking what?
Mic drop. I'm not going to drop it because you bought it for me and I can't afford to buy myself another one. But if I could afford to drop this microphone, I would.
Yeah, I had never thought of that.
There we go. Cat's dust in the house. My sister's fine.
I don't like cats, so I'm not going to pick at that. You mentioned the big one for me is, and it's every time I watch it, and I know I said the movie's all about vibes and all the rest, no one is nearly traumatized enough. Like, at all. No one in this movie.
Yeah.
And what makes it even worse is, like, every time something semi-serious is about to happen, like, the happiest synth music ever comes on. I'm like, the composer watched a different cut of this movie. Like, it's just like, doodly-doo-doo. Like, it's just like the happiest synth thing. And they're like, it's too late. We've already recorded it. Just put it in the movie. Yeah, it's that odd.
There's a scene where like the two sisters are sitting on like the bonnet of this Corvette thing or something like that.
Yep.
And it's like something out of like The Breakfast Club. Do you know what I mean? They're just sitting there and then like that. Shops are open or words to that effect, and then we get the shopping spree montage. You know, don't you care? Your parents just died.
Yep.
Everybody you know has just died.
Retail therapy, Baz. Retail therapy. Right, ladies and gents, we're going.
No. I'm leaving close to the finish it because hold your horses, son. Point 3
of my 17-point essay.
Where the fuck did they find all the automatic weapons?
America.
I'll give you that. As I was saying that, I thought that as well. So like, we'll just scrap that one. But here's another good one though.
Uh-huh.
And this is my last one, right? Why would the department store druggies try to kill what would appear to be the last 2 women on Earth? Right? Because all the druggies are dudes. Right?
I don't like where this is going.
This is, surely to God, this is prime sex slave territory. Do you know what I mean?
You're just like carving out the plot of 28 Days Later here.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's true. You wouldn't want to shoot them.
No.
Let's be honest, looking at these druggies either, they've not had a whole lot of action back pre-apocalypse. Do you know what I mean? So now you're thinking, right, we're heavily armed, There are no police.
No.
This is going to go badly for the 2 bitches, but we're not going to shoot them.
No, God, no.
Might shoot them full of cum, but
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's really fucked the ratings in this podcast. That's the third last episode as well. Fucked it.
I'm taking us out of this. We are moving quickly to the grades right just now before Baz degrades us further. We're going to be right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Rated R for Radiation and Retail and Radical 80s Energy. We are scoring this movie out of 5 Baz. I am perplexed. I am confused. I have mixed signals here. Does he want a second date? Or will he never call me again? Let's find out here. What are you giving Night of the Comet?
I'm going to chuck in another R here, big man. You're about to get ruined. I'd give this like a 1.5.
Oh, yeah.
I did not like this film. I found it utterly pointless. That's why I was so surprised when you were going on about Scott and Liam, thinking it's like
they love this movie. Yeah, we saw it at the cinema like 2 years ago.
Absolute dog shit.
Oh, you've just broke their hearts.
Nah.
like Bane breaking. Why am I doing comic book references? But you just like broke the bat.
What would you rate this pile of
This is
shit?
a 3.5 for me. This is vibes from start to finish, all the way right through. This is like chicken soup for the soul. Yes,
so
it has
you
some
said this-
issues. Yeah,
This film was 84, is that what you said? at the
84.
start?
Yeah.
So when would you have seen it, roughly?
Early 90s. Definitely early
Early
90s.
90s,
So this
okay.
is well after. I'd already seen, in like my history of watching horror movies, I'd already seen like proper scary horror movies by this point. I'd already seen your
this
kind of
is
Nightmare on Elm
definitely
Street,
horror
your
film,
Friday the
aye.
13th, Halloweens and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the early 90s, it was a case of whatever I could kind of essentially grab from the shelf, I was kind of allowed to get.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. And like I say, mostly down to the cover. The cover originally made me think it was going to be something like The Thing, just because it's like, you know, the kind of
All
bright
right,
alien
okay.
thing in the middle and all the rest. And there's none of
must
that in
have
this
been a
movie.
wild disappointment.
Oh God! Like, because I didn't read I just went on what the cover looked like. You didn't read the
Yeah.
back. And yeah, I remember having fun with it then. And then I don't think I saw it then until many years. It would have been like the 2000s when I was working in a video store. Ironically, I think that was maybe the second time I watched it, and I dug. It's not an amazing movie. It's not a great movie, but for me, it holds a degree of cult status for me from the time. And it's held up. It's never been. I would have scored it probably 3.5 the first time I watched it. It's never gained anything, but it's never lost anything for me. So
Yeah, that's fair enough. I will say, I think, had I maybe seen it, like, so 84, I would have been 11. So
yeah,
even if I had seen it in my teens, I would have probably quite dug it. I think the problem is now I'm watching this for the first time in my early 50s. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, over the course of the years, you and I have been podcasting on various shows.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of films, and I have seen a lot of very good films, both horror
Yes.
and not. And I think I'm just coming to this too late.
Possibly.
It's not getting anything for me.
I'm glad we did
I
it
remember
here,
watching Return of the Living Dead and enjoying that.
But the Return of the Living Dead is like super over the top, and that's like, to me, there's had you like said 1.5 out of 5 for Return of the Living Dead, I don't think me and you could still be friends. Like that to me is just like, that's just a wrong grade. I get it. I'm glad that we did it here and not in the cinema like 2 years ago, because I think that would have broke Scott. It would have broke Scott's heart, and he's a fragile soul at times. I don't want to upset him. Ladies and gents, we just scored this bitch, which means we need to bring the show in for a close. And that's a wrap on The Night of the Comet from 1984, a film that proves that the end of humanity doesn't have to be bleak, hopeless, or silent. It can be neon lit, synth scored, and aggressively mall-based. It's part zombie movie, part team comedy, and part how is this apocalypse so upbeat? And somehow still manages to be endlessly charming in its low budget and high vibes madness, unless you're Baz. Massive thanks to the Baz, though, the only man that can watch civilization crumble and say, honestly, strong aesthetic choices. If you love what we do here, subscribe, rate, review, and spread the gospel of glorious trash cinema on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Your support keeps us alive, unlike most of the humanity in this film. On the next B-Movie Blitzkrieg, I am so excited for this. I feel like we've been working up to this forever now. We are leaving the malls behind and hitting the streets with The Warriors from 1979. Film that asks, what if New York City was one long boss fight and everyone dressed like it? Expect gangs, gravelly narration, baseball bats, and the most dangerous overnight commute in cinema history. Until then, keep your malls looted, your comets distant, and remember that here at the B-Movie Blitzkrieg, the bizarre meets the brilliant, one B-movie at a time. Baz, say goodbye to the listeners, please.
Guten Nacht, meine sexy Liebchen. I will see y'all on the flip side. I had loads of stuff all primed for this closing, and it's all gone out my head because I went on my rant about the film. So, hand the hawk, bitches. Blitzkrieg!